Now at 4:30 on ABC7 News, the latest from the campaign trail as President Trump gives an update on a possible vaccine. The race for the White House coming up.
And a local congressman speaking out about a controversial Netflix movie that some say exploits young girls, plus the federal legislation he's vowing to pass.
You're watching ABC7 News at 4:30.
Hello and welcome back to ABC7 at 4:30. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Bill Logan. We'll get to those stories and more in just a moment. But first, the busiest man in the building right now. We got to check back in with ABC7's chief meteorologist, Bob Harrigan. Hey, Bob.
All my years of covering these storms, I don't think I've ever covered this many at one time. We're talking about 5 different named storms out there. We have remnants of Renee out there still dancing around too, but we're getting some waves still kicking up from Sally, which has slowed down but picked up in intensity just south of the panhandle of Florida. South winds at 9. The winds aren't all that strong. We haven't had a lot of rainfall today. 2991 on the pressure, but lots of cloudiness around. Still feels like 97. Okay, here's the latest now. We're expecting updates soon. Those winds could be even higher on the next update, which comes at 5 o'clock. Gusts up to 115, so it is a Category 1 hurricane, the 7th hurricane of the season. The area in red that you see right there from looks like Alabama just to the east of Mobile all the way over into New Orleans in a hurricane warning now, and that means the potential for hurricane force winds. The forecast path and track indicating that it could become a Category 2 prior to landfall and then move off toward the north and then to the northeast. This is 5 days or 4 days time right here, and you can see we have a lot of rainfall in the offing there. It's going to continue to just work its way from the Gulf onshore, especially into the panhandle of Florida, southern sections of Alabama, Mississippi, and even into Louisiana, but more so to the right of the storm. It's still drawing moisture in our direction. We're getting showers and storms out in the Gulf and more so into Highlands County on a feeder band. Expect some of this rain to move into Charlotte County here. Already starting to see some light rain there now, but more storms are in the forecast through the night tonight and tomorrow. Not a lot of severe weather, but the potential for some moderate rainfall will be around, it looks like, throughout the overnight and into tomorrow morning. We'll have more on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. Tracking the latest from the campaign trail, President Trump defending his record on the coronavirus as he now faces renewed scrutiny over his handling of the pandemic. The president is saying nothing more could have been done, even as he held a rally in Nevada defying state health guidelines. ABC's Alex Perche is in Washington with the very latest.
Today, President Trump is headed to California for a briefing on the wildfires raging on the West Coast. As another crisis, the coronavirus is taking center stage in his campaign. More scrutiny of the president's recorded interviews with the Washington Post's Bob Woodward over his handling of the pandemic, including an August 14th call described in this 60 Minutes interview.
Nothing more could have been done. Nothing more could have been done.
Nothing more could have been done. Does he remember what he told me back in February about it's more deadly than the flu? I mean, it almost took my breath away.
President Trump's critics pointing to his rally in Nevada just yesterday. Thousands packed indoors with few wearing masks. The president breaking the battleground state's own COVID-19 restrictions, limiting gatherings to 50 people. Its Democratic governor calling it reckless and selfish and threatening to fine the company hosting the event.
If the governor comes after you, which he shouldn't be doing, I'll be with you all the way. Don't worry about a thing.
The president's comments come as more than 194,000 Americans have now died from COVID-19, the virus claiming nearly 1,000 lives a day. The Biden campaign pouncing, writing in a statement, every rally turned super spreader event is another reminder to Americans that Trump still refuses to take this pandemic seriously and still doesn't have a plan to stop it. And now, Politico reporting Trump administration officials tried to interfere with the CDC reports on COVID-19 as they push for the CDC to better align with President Trump's optimistic claims of the virus. A new ABC News Ipsos poll finds that 67% of Americans believe the president responded too slowly to the coronavirus, with 68% saying they trust what he says about the pandemic either not so much or not at all. The president will no doubt face more questions on the pandemic during a town hall of undecided voters with ABC's chief anchor George Stephanopoulos in Pennsylvania tomorrow. Joe Biden has a similar event scheduled Thursday. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
And looking ahead, today marks 50 days until Election Day, and with that, more and more candidates are going to be making a push for your vote here in Florida, specifically right along that I-4 corridor. Tomorrow, Democratic nominee Joe Biden is going to be in Tampa visiting with vets. He's going to then make a stop in Kissimmee over toward Orlando later in the day to attend a Hispanic Heritage Month event there. This is going to be Biden's first trip to Florida since the pandemic started. His last visit was during the Democratic presidential debate last year in Miami. And Michael Bloomberg is committing at least $100 million to help Joe Biden's presidential campaign in Florida. Right now, Biden is underperforming with Hispanics in crucial battleground states, including Florida. Meanwhile, President Trump, who now calls his home here, Florida, is currently garnering about 50% of the Latino vote in Florida, according to a survey. Concerns are mounting about the possible consequences if there is an undercount of the 2020 census. Time's running out. The count's set to end the end of this month on the 30th. Organizations nationwide are working to boost response rates before it's too late. There are also legal battles underway over a series of last-minute changes to the census. The reason is that an undercount would be damaging on many levels. It comes down to two big issues: government funding and political power. The census, of course, determines the number of representatives each state gets in Congress, and funding at both the state and federal levels.
Today, Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan introducing federal legislation to ban childlike sex dolls in all 50 states. This comes after a station in Miami reported a lifelike doll resembling a real girl from Miami was being sold online. The mother said a photo of the girl was stolen and her likeness was turned into a sex doll that was legally for sale online. Buchanan is now reintroducing the Creeper Act, which was first passed in the House in 2018 but died in the Senate. The Creeper Act would ban the importation and transportation of child sex dolls, which Buchanan's office says would effectively ban their sale. If it doesn't pass this year, Buchanan has vowed to reintroduce it again in the 2021 congressional session. Now, this comes as Buchanan, as well as Senator Ted Cruz, harshly criticized the new Netflix film Cuties, which they say sexualizes and exploits young girls. Although the film's creators claim it's a social commentary, the National Center on the Sexual Exploitation of Children also criticized that film. Buchanan said the film could have made its point without placing these minors in sexually suggestive poses and situations. New at 4:30, Attorney General Ashley Moody today announced that her fellow Gator alum Tim Tebow will be the keynote speaker for the virtual 2020 annual Human Trafficking Summit. A two-time college football national champion, he founded the Tim Tebow Foundation. It works to put an end to human trafficking as well as other initiatives designed to make the lives of children better. Stay with us. Coming up, the latest on your First Alert weather as Sally has now become a Category 1 hurricane.
Hi, Katie Osborne for Endurance. You know, I realize how blessed I am to work around cars every day. With as much as we rely on our cars, we're keeping them longer than ever, which also means we're probably driving with little and or even no warranty coverage. And by the way, most of us take our cars for granted, thinking they'll be there anytime we need them. But sooner or later, something will go wrong. Whether it's a transmission, power steering, heating and air conditioning, or an alternator, parts and systems in your car are going to break down. And remember, auto insurance only covers you when you're in an accident. It doesn't pay for the repair costs when your car breaks down. That can cost you thousands. An Endurance Vehicle Protection Plan covers your repairs. That includes parts and labor, the mechanic of your choice, hotel and food reimbursements, all while giving you 24/7 roadside assistance. And that's why we say insurance plus endurance equals total protection.
Call 1-800-273-3454 for your free quote.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today. Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-344-6363. That's 1-800-344-6363. Call now. 1-800-344-6363.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money.
So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-763-0910. 1-800-763-0910.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
441 right now, the city of Venice is closing Humphreys Park and the South Jetty Walkway over safety concerns, all due to those onshore winds and waves brought in from Sally's outer bands. We're told that both venues are going to reopen when staff decides conditions have improved and it is safe enough to be out there. Of course, Tropical Storm Sally, which we've been telling you about all weekend, has now turned into a Category 1 hurricane. Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana coastlines all under warnings and watchings. And Bob, these folks are just under the gun again.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Yeah, Louisiana in particular, Bill, think about it. We've had 4 storms there that have had a problem and an issue with Louisiana. Cristobal, of course, Laura, Sally, and Marco all having an impact on Louisiana. And this one still could. In fact, Louisiana, most of the southeast corner of it and much of the south central is still under a hurricane warning. Although it looks like it's moving northward now, the good indications are it's going to sit here and spin for a while and then make a break right toward Louisiana, making landfall either there or near Mississippi. This is the visible satellite imagery down to very tight quarters now with it. And I tell you, it's not looking all that healthy, but reconnaissance aircraft indicating winds up to 90 miles an hour. And it's moving to the west-northwest at 7, but indications are that may even be a little slower right now. The pressure dropping 986 millibars. And as far as the forecast goes, you can still see New Orleans in that cone of uncertainty and possibly making landfall on Tuesday or even into Wednesday. And that means it's going to be sitting around here for 3 days, bringing heavy rainfall. We're talking 20 inches of rain in some isolated areas, also generating some high surf along our coastline right now. South winds at 9, and you can see that rotation and circulation. Everything to the right, that's why we call it the dirty side. That's where the strongest storms are and the heaviest storm surge, which could be as high as 14 feet and could even get a little higher than that, depending on how long it sits out there and spins around. We're getting some feeder bands. Moisture continuing to draw in from the system and continuing to push into Charlotte Harbor now. Nothing heavy at this point. 1 or 2 isolated showers into East Manatee County. We'll have another chance for showers and storms tomorrow. As long as Sally's still out there in the Gulf, it's going to continue to draw moisture and put it into the coast. So we have a flood watch in effect through 8 o'clock tomorrow. The rainfall now into inland counties, just a little bit there. You can see off in the distance there. We had some bigger storms offshore. The high surf continues to move onshore here, and looks like that's not going to let up either for some time. South winds at 9, the pressure 2991, and the humidity at 74%. Well, there it is, Tuesday, Wednesday almost, still out there in the Gulf of Mexico, heading off toward the Mississippi coastline. Showers and storms heavy all the way into the Big Bend area of Florida expected over the next 48 hours. Temperatures into the mid-80s here, upper 70s in Orlando, still warm into our interior counties and places like Sebring, where it's 90, 92 in Lake Placid. Mid-80s near the coast. The water temperature has cooled as a result of the high surf action recently. That's a good sign. Winds are still strong out there and a buoy at about 20 miles southwest of Longboat Key and out there into the Gulf of Mexico. Winds will stay out of the south. They are right now. Not too bad out there, 10 to 15 miles an hour, and they'll stay in that range, I think, throughout the day tomorrow, with some storms producing a little bit gustier conditions as these storms roll in. Our rain chances stay high for the next several days, in fact, all the way through this week. Well, here we go. It's been an active season, to say the least. We still have over 2 months to go before the official end. The next storm up will be Wilfred. Vicky is out there, and it continues to be a very weak storm. Here's Paulette, not a weak storm, could go to a major category by tomorrow as it heads to the northeast. There is Teddy. Teddy is definitely going to be a major hurricane, but the news on Teddy, it's going to stay in the open waters of the Atlantic and not having any impact on land. And here is the new Vicky. Vicky is going to be a tropical storm just for a little while, and then it heads off as a low pressure system toward the west. A lot of action, to say the least. Temperatures have cooled down to fall-like conditions over the Northeast and Great Lakes for tomorrow. High of 74 in Detroit, only 64 in Boston, 103 in Phoenix. For boaters tomorrow, not the best of weather. We'll have showers and a few storms scattered about. Sunrise will be at 7:16. UV index will be low at a 5, and looks like good chances for scattered storms every day this week. We'll even see a few in the morning on Tuesday. We should get back to scattered storms in the afternoon for the remainder of the work week. Bill?
All right, Bob, 4:45 right now, and it's time for your first alert traffic and weather together. And this is a look at I-75 southbound right at mile marker 199. Looks like traffic getting through with no problems at all. No delays, no wrecks. No worries. Be safe out there, guys.
Well, 29 major fires burning in California alone as of this morning, as the unprecedented fire season shows no signs of letting up. At least 25 people have now been killed in California, Oregon, and Washington over the past week. Dozens of people still missing, and a record 3.3 million acres have been burned in the Golden State this year. ABC's Will Carr has the latest.
New evacuations are underway as historic fires and thick smoke continue to plague the West Coast. At least 25 people have been killed and dozens are still missing. In Oregon, Mary Joyner is fighting back tears, telling us that her beloved 92-year-old Aunt Violet may not have made it out.
She kept calling me on my cell phone at work, yelling at me to come get her. And I kept trying to tell her, I can't come get you, Auntie Vi. They won't let me in. I says, just get the hell out of there.
And with the flames comes that toxic smoke that's blanketed the West Coast, smothering several major cities, blocking out the sun and posing serious health risks for millions of people. In San Francisco, residents are urged to stay inside. The air quality in Portland, the worst in the world.
The debate is over around climate change. Just come to the state of California. Observe it with your own eyes.
Senator Jeff Merkley describing what he's seen to George Sunday on This Week.
George, it is apocalyptic. I drove 600 miles up and down the state. I never escaped the smoke.
Firefighters on the front lines are dealing with their own losses. Fire Chief Christiana Rainbow Plews losing everything in the Holiday Farm fire, her home and her fire station, all a casualty of the unforgiving flames.
It's tough to fight fire with a broken heart.
Cal Fire Captain Lathan Dryden moved into his new home just under 3 weeks ago. The Creek Fire set his neighborhood ablaze, and all that remains of his house now is this chimney.
Our shed, our pump house, our house, all the trees were just scorched.
In California, the North Complex fire has destroyed 2,000 structures.
The trees sound like spaceships taking off. Every tree was, and it just makes you sick to your stomach.
With tears in his eyes, Dalen Cameron proudly describes how he's lived in this neighborhood for 58 years. His property has now survived the nearby Camp Fire, which killed 85 people in 2018, and the latest fire. Many of his neighbors have not been as lucky. Do you want to stay here?
Well, where am I going to go? Everything's gone. No housing, no nothing.
Coming up next, the Suncoast Veterans Therapy Dog is missing. Hear his plea for help and find out what you can do to help reunite the pair.
Attention, everyone on Medicare. New Medicare Advantage plans are now available. Did you know that you may be eligible for additional benefits that include free eyeglasses, free hearing aids, free meal delivery, and much more? Just call the toll-free number on your screen to see if you qualify for additional Medicare benefits and let us make sure you're getting all the benefits you deserve. Call 800-870-0428. In addition to dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage, you may also qualify for $0 monthly premiums, $0 deductibles, and no copays for many services. Call the toll-free number on your screen now to see if you're eligible for additional Medicare benefits that may include free eyeglasses, free hearing aids, free meal delivery, free rides to medical appointments, and more. The call and the Medicare benefits review are absolutely free. There's no obligation to enroll. Call 800-870-0428. That's 800-870-0428.
If you want to do a little fishing, you don't buy a yacht. And if you want to take a bath, you just fill up the tub, not a swimming pool. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why pay for more than you need? For as low as $20 a month, you can get talk, text, and data from Consumer Cellular with no contract and connections on the nation's largest wireless networks. It's easy to switch. Activation is free. And if you like, you can even keep your phone and number. You'll also receive award-winning customer support. Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 8 times in a row. And you get a simple, easy-to-understand bill with no surprises. Plus, they've been an approved AARP provider for over 10 years, so members get exclusive discounts. Start saving with Consumer Cellular. You can get talk, text, and data for as low as $20 a month. Switch today. With our 30-day guarantee, it's 100% risk-free. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or find us at Target.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Download the ABC7 News app for the latest on the coronavirus.
All right, kids, it's just 8 minutes before 5, and we ask you to take a look at your screen. Have you seen this pup? A local veterans group is trying to help a Suncoast veteran find his missing service dog by sharing these pictures on social media, and we wanted to help him out by putting them on the Magic Picture Box. The group Paws for Warriors posted on their Facebook page. They're offering a $500 reward. The dog is named Oscar. He's a black lab mix, last seen on September 2nd around the area of Proctor Road and McIntosh in South Sarasota.
See him, he is actually a certified service dog. Please contact Paws and Warriors with any information if you have seen him or heard of somebody that has found one. Please, thank you.
He really is a very important member of that family. If you have any information on Oscar's whereabouts, you can contact Paws and Warriors on their Facebook page, which we have linked to this story on mysuncoast.com.
Wow. Here's what's happening with us. Bill, get a look at this. This is unbelievable right here. All the different storms that we are following. Currently, we have a new storm now, Vicky. We also have the remnants of Renee. We have Paulette, which is on the verge of becoming a major hurricane right now. And Category 2, that's right, Category 2 Sally, and potentially getting up to major status before it makes landfall. And we have a system we're watching out here into the western Gulf of Mexico. And so lots going on right now. And it looks like we are going to see all of these, for the most part, stay out here in the open waters of the Atlantic at this point. But the big storm is Sally, and it is gaining strength now. Top winds sustained up to 100 miles an hour. It's going through rapid intensification now, and the pressure 987 millibars. It's over some very warm water. It's expected to move off toward the northwest, west-northwest still, although it's kind of stationary right now, not moving all that fast, just at 6 miles an hour. There's the forecast new cone of uncertainty from the National Hurricane Center, taking it off toward Louisiana or Mississippi. Louisiana still in that cone of uncertainty and still under a hurricane warning at this point. You can see winds up to 110 even on Tuesday afternoon, and then subsiding somewhat as it makes landfall and stays around the southeast United States, bringing heavy rainfall. We're seeing some of the onshore and southerly flow, which will continue to bring us that soupy tropical moisture, and that means more showers and storms are in our forecast over the upcoming days. More on that coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
All right, Bob, thank you. We're just getting started. Here's some of the stories we're working on for you tonight. Straight ahead today, bars here in Florida reopening at half capacity. We'll tell you what you need to know before returning. And in our 6 o'clock hour, as the Gulf Coast braces for Hurricane Sally, a live report on any rip current and flood risks here along the Sun Coast you need to know about right now. Plus, at 7, after President Trump signs an executive order extending an offshore drilling ban, how that could impact our Suncoast waterways and water quality here in Florida. Don't go anywhere. ABC7 News will be right back with your 5 o'clock newscast.